So let's talk about social anxiety, but maybe not in the way you're used to thinking about it. We're not going to treat it as some kind of personal flaw or a switch that's just broken in your brain. Instead, we're going to look at it as a structure. Yeah, like a piece of architecture that our minds sometimes build. So let's grab our hard hats and take a peek at the blueprints. You know that feeling, right? Where it feels like every single eye in the room is on you and every word you say is being graded. Where even a super simple conversation feels like this high-stakes performance. If any of that sounds familiar, well, you already know what it feels like to step inside this building. I mean, think about it. Your brain is constantly designing your internal world. It's laying down pathways, it's building out rooms for every single emotion you have. And sometimes using blueprints that are drawn from, past experiences or really deep-seated fears, it constructs these very specific and, let's be honest, very stressful, anxious spaces. Okay, so before we start our grand tour, let's just get the official definition out there. At its very core, social anxiety isn't about being shy or just being an introvert. It is a specific and really powerful fear of negative social judgment. This right here, this is the bedrock. This is what the entire structure is built on. So, every building has to have a foundation. And the architecture of social anxiety, well, it's founded on a few really distinct, really powerful fears. Let's dig in and break them down. These are the raw materials the architect, your brain, is working with. But don't just picture them as separate pillars. It's more like they're the concrete and the steel rebar of this whole construction. The fear of judgment gets all mixed in with the fear of embarrassment, and that just reinforces the fear of being the center of attention. They're not isolated worries. They're completely woven together, creating this foundation that feels, well, it feels unshakable. All right, so with that foundation poured and set, the brain starts building out the different rooms. And each one is designed for a very specific kind of anxious experience. Let's take a little tour of some of the most common ones. And here's our first stop. This thought. Yeah, this one lives in a very particular room. It's a feeling that is both absolutely terrifying and incredibly common. It's basically the internal monologue for anyone who's ever had to speak in public, or give a toast, or heck, even just introduce themselves in a meeting. And this shows you exactly how it becomes this nasty, vicious cycle. It all starts with a trigger that puts you on that stage. Then your body just responds with a flood of adrenaline. The racing heart, the sweating, the shaky voice. That physical stuff then fuels the mental loop of just obsessing over every potential mistake. But here's the kicker. The loop doesn't stop when the event is over. The aftermath, where your brain just replays every single perceived flaw, that actually strengthens the foundation of fear for the next time you're on that stage. Okay, let's step off the stage and walk down the hall into a totally different part of the building. It's a place a lot of us know all too well, the office. Now, the anxiety in this room isn't about one single high-stakes performance. It's more of a constant, low-level fear about your very presence there, about your qualifications. So, the blueprints for this room, they're all about this deep, nagging feeling of unworthiness. It's the conviction that you don't actually deserve any of your accomplishments. Every single success gets chalked up to luck, and every bit of praise feels like a mistake that someone's about to correct. The real fear here is that at any moment, someone's going to pull back the curtain and expose you as the fraud you believe you are. All right, we're leaving the office. This next thought leads us into a different kind of space entirely. See, this one isn't about what you do. It's about what you think other people think of who you are. And notice the word no. It's a conviction, not just a suspicion. Welcome to the mind-reading library. This room is just filled with books that seem to contain everyone else's thoughts about you. But every single book is a negative review. It's a cognitive distortion, a trick your brain plays, where it convinces you that you can read minds, and the news is never, ever good. Okay, so this is a really crucial distinction. The spotlight stage is all about the fear of doing something wrong, stumbling over a word, giving a bad presentation. But the mind-reading library, that's about the fear of being perceived as something wrong, as boring or stupid or unlikable. One is about your actions, the other is about your identity. So, we've toured the building, we've seen the foundation, we have explored a couple of the rooms, but here it is, the most important part of the entire blueprint. You are not just a visitor here, you are the architect. Just recognizing these patterns, seeing the structure for what it is, that is everything. And listen, this isn't about taking a wrecking ball to the whole building. It's about realizing you have the power to renovate. You can add windows, you can widen the hallways, you can totally change the floor plan of your own mind. So, to quickly recap our tour today, remember, social anxiety is a construct. It's a building made of very real, very understandable fears. It has different rooms for different situations, like that spotlight stage or the imposter syndrome office. But the most important thing is that understanding the architecture, the way it's all put together, gives you the tools to start redesigning it.
So we're going to leave you with this final thought. Seeing the blueprint, it changes everything. It turns you from someone who just lives in an anxious space into its architect. So the question isn't, why is it like this anymore? The question becomes, what am I going to build next?